Are you really fashionable, or has the fashion industry just catered towards your body type for decades, thus making skinniness the default for fashion? I'd like someone to answer that one.
Nope. That's right.
What's up, y'all? What's good? What's sizzling? It is your favorite frustrated creative, Sholay, signing in for another video. Welcome back. How y'all doing? I know. I've been away for a really long time, but I will explain everything in my video that I'm going to be dropping on Patreon. Yes, I've created a Patreon where I'm going to be putting bonus videos, full clips, and interviews that are going to be coming up very soon in the future for all my future projects. So if you want to be, updated on all the things that I've been going through and everything like that, from school to work to traveling, everything like that, please be sure to check out my Patreon. Hey you guys, I realized I did not discuss the tiers properly on my video, so I want to discuss it in more detail so you guys get like a better picture of what I'm talking about. For the first tier, it's going to be behind the scenes footage. You're going to be seeing interviews, videos, and bonus clips that are not usually in my YouTube videos. And for the second tier, I'll be going on my day-to-day basis on what's going on in my life and everything, because I believe that's more intimate. So if you guys want to know the more intimate details, it's going to be in a higher tier, if that makes any sense. So if you guys are interested in getting into my Patreon, it's going to be linked down below in my bio. So please be sure to check it out and subscribe to which tier you are more interested in. Thanks so much. Well, on my channel, I'm going to be starting a new series called Theory Explained, where I'll be talking about theories that I see in pop culture and in society that I find super interesting, or some that you guys have suggested in the comment section down below. And I'll be breaking them down, doing research on them, presenting it to y'all, and kind of getting your input on what you guys think and building a bigger conversation about it. Some are easier to explain than others, and some might be longer than others. But if you have any suggestions, please leave them down below and I will check them out, and hopefully we'll see one in the future. Now for today's segment of Theory Explained, we're going to be talking about fashionable or just skinny. We're going to be discussing the relationship between thin body types and the fashion industry capitalizing off of them, and how we view representation, also what we deem as fashionable in our everyday lives. My thought process towards this theory came about the videos and reviews I saw during New York Fashion Week and the Met Gala, which so happened to be a mess. And mind you, this theory is not a new one. There are a plethora of videos on it on YouTube, and I will put them up above that I would sincerely recommend that you go watch. But from the reviews and the comments that I saw, a few things came up to my attention. The industry and the audience. It more or less looks like a cycle in my head, but I'll explain. Let us go into analyzing the industry. As we all know, most fashion trends tend to stem from mannequins or runway models, either draped in clothing that looks a hot mess, or being that the clothes do not even fit them properly for them to even make a proper statement. But from time to time, there are certain pieces that then turn into trends that everybody goes ahead to eat up, and the fashion industry makes money off of it. The ideology of the perfect thin body type for being a model goes as far back as the 1960s. However, we see it more pinpointed in the 1980s.
The industry of fashion has long been the most influential in setting trends and standards of feminine beauty. Yet fashion houses are notorious for employing models who have a very specific physique when compared to the natural variations of a woman's body. And fashion magazines such as Vogue fill their pages with idealistic images for women to consume and compare themselves to.
It is said that the reasons why designers and model scouts tend to go for skinnier, thinner women is because they're easier to dress. They're blank canvas and you can pretty much put anything on them and it tends to work. And apparently they prefer looking at skinnier/thinner women. You can almost say that that's how we associate skinnier women and wanting to see them in movies and magazines and TV shows and everything like that. How we associate being skinnier, looking better, and it being healthier. That's a deeper analysis for another day, but anyways. The cuts made in clothing cater towards fit women with taller statures, as that's what they believe the kind of people should be wearing their clothes. So what about the others? The others that don't have taller statures or are not fit? Do you not want to see them be included in the clothing, in the fashion industry? It is said that smaller models are an air of imagination and aspiration for the consumers to be more drawn and cling more to the brand. However, I don't really agree with that statement, as it makes it more impossible to find yourself in the fashion industry. It makes it more difficult for people to constantly uphold the standard of beauty and what being fashionable looks like. But tell me what you think down below. With the runway producing and pushing out thinner women, I believe they fail to recognize the consequences it actually has on the women, the models that are out here trying to attain that idea of beauty, and not understanding how difficult it is for them to keep that standard at all times by doing disastrous things to their health and to their bodies. 4 in 5 models are reportedly underweight and are using all manner of methods to attain this idea of thinness. And for those who prefer percentages more, 62% of models surveyed reported to have been asked to shed weight, whilst 54% were told that they wouldn't be able to get work unless they lost weight. Shifting over to the audience, we know that the fashion industry is a women-dominated industry, so it's not too far off thinking that their audience are mostly women who want to be in the now, who want to top the trends and the charts. However, the fashion industry, in my personal opinion, has gone ahead to bang on the body image issues that women already have as a way to capitalize off of it and make revenue, not understanding how they constantly shift the idea of what beauty standards really are as they set the tone for trends and what we wear in everyday life. And yes, we can applaud the fashion industry for changing and diversifying themselves from time to time, but we all know their natural default is having skinny, white, straight-haired women and having unattainable bodies majority of the time. And I'm not saying that they don't have natural bodies, but to keep it at that level all the time is not usually something that majority of us people out here can do, because majority of the time most of us cannot see ourselves in the fashion industry at all. And when we do, it is a thinner, skinnier, smaller, Eurocentric idea of what we should look like. But anyways.
Okay, so I want to talk about something really quick that I seen a video on. So I'm scrolling down my For You page, blah, blah, blah. A girl talks about, she's like talking about like fast fashion and how she hates fast fashion and she wishes everything was like back in the day. Everybody wants to be revealing, and I want to say no. As a plus size girl, I feel like everybody who grew up plus size or is plus size knows the feeling of how traumatic going shopping was as a child. Not so much now, because you have so many options, such as fast fashion like Shein and the Fashionables and so on and so forth. There's more options for us, and now they caveat size because but fashion never cared about fat people, so it wasn't catered to us. So like I remember not being able to shop in like American Eagle or all the shit that was like popular and popping when I was a kid, or like a young adult or a teenager, whatever you want to say. It was like just not available in my size, and I was like really frightening and really terrible, and I hated going shopping. Like that's just really scary to me. So like now as an adult, like fast fashion has really been like the only option that really includes plus size women. And even then it's like, cause you go in store, there's stores like Torrid that like cater to plus size women, but it's like you don't really get cute clothes. It's like it's either cute clothes that don't fit you, or like you go in the plus size section and everything is like polka dots or leopard. Like, why do I have to look like an animal? And now pairing fast fashion with the fact that women are like reclaiming their bodies. They want to dress more scandalous. They want to show off, the things and such like that. They call it BBL fashion. I feel like that's really like not fair, because now that curvy is in and everybody wants to like show it off, everybody hates it. And even then, a lot of like the stuff that's like out isn't super flattering on plus size body types. And I'm talking about like real plus size body types. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about. Don't be acting like you don't know what I'm talking about. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Anyways, I'm saying that to say, don't shit on fast fashion. because I love it. And, you know, I understand, like, everybody hates fat people and nobody cares about us, and the fashion world is just not for us. But, like, I don't know. I guess keep that on the back of your head. Or don't care. Just don't care because you're not, like, plus size and it doesn't really pertain to you. Don't care.
With trends that we see nowadays, the face tends to be skinnier, thinner women. And you can trail back all the way to the 90s, the 80s, even the 60s. That's what they usually looked like. Whether they're all corseted up, they were blinged out, or they were in the Y2K era, that's all we tend to see. And I'm not talking about just here in North America, even back home in various African countries and European countries, that is what we saw. We didn't get to see women of bigger statures taking the forefront or even welcomed into those spaces. So you can imagine whenever you see certain people following certain trends, when you are of a bigger size and you don't see yourself, you tend to feel excluded. Or when you try to belong to one of those trends, you seem out of place because you don't see anyone else like that out here doing what you're doing. And I would say it's because of the lack of outrage that we have for these fashion companies and for the people who are setting the trends out here. If you think about it, the way that we have outrage for these makeup companies who give us an array of beige tones, give us 2 deep darks and 1 chocolate, you don't see that same energy for all these fashion brands that only have their largest size as being large. Tell me I'm wrong, please tell me I'm wrong. When we are featuring fashion, we cannot just go ahead and simplify it to the way and the ideal body should be like, but have representation of all bodies, as when you exclude one group, you're excluding their ideas, their own creative inputs, and everything else that goes along with it. And I don't really understand this idea of going ahead to showcase different body types out here is all of a sudden promoting obesity or promoting unhealthy living, when majority of the time these people out here who are skinny are unhappy with their bodies. Regardless, you're going to be unhappy with your body. If you're being healthy and eating and enjoying life, I feel like that's what's most important. Like, yes, I understand there's a boundary in certain sizes and everything like that, because of course, if you are a certain size, you are more likely to go ahead and have some health complications and issues. It's not always guaranteed, because even skinnier people also have those same issues as well. But I understand and I get why people say you shouldn't be a certain size. But at the same time, if they are going ahead to actively work towards healthy living, they're eating, they're working out, they're doing what makes them happy, and they're not, I guess, putting themselves in danger, then I don't see what the issue is. Or maybe I'm wrong. Let me know what you think down below. So for all the people having certain statements towards certain fashion trends or the way certain people look so fashionably inclined, I'm pretty sure they're just a pretty face and a skinny body. That's why y'all said that. Just saying. But anyways, the answer that seems to work best for this theory that I came up with was that because of the way we've associated being skinny in our society, movies, TV shows, and the runway, we've taken what is being marketed to us through the ideal body type, which is being skinny, and now associate it to being good and fashionable. But I could be wrong. Let me know what you think down below. All right, y'all, thank you so much for tuning in once again. I appreciate each and every one of y'all. Thank you. And do not forget, we're going to have another Theory Explained video next week, Friday, so do not forget to tune in. And the question for today is, what is your least favorite fashion trend of all time? I would have to say, for par moi, I honestly think the whole denim on denim, I'm not a huge fan of, honestly, unless it's bedazzled or looks kind of fancy. The whole denim on denim thing, I'm not for it. And Crocs, that trend, I don't like it either. I don't know if it's classified as a trend. I don't like Crocs like that, unless it's like pink and like has like a whole bunch of stuff on it, like bedazzled. Yeah, if it's not, keep it away from me. I don't want it. But let me know what you think down below. All right, y'all. It is your favorite frustrated creative, Sholay, signing out of this video. And remember, God made you special and he loves you very much. And you can do anything you set your mind to with Christ, of course. All right, y'all. Peace.
You know what I'm talking about? Bring it back.